Welcome to the Law by Leo podcast.
Welcome to the Law by Leo podcast with attorney Alex Leonowicz. Alex is a high compliance business attorney and the founder of Law by Leo, where he works with founders and investors in highly regulated industries to build legal frameworks that support growth rather than slow it down. With experience as a general counsel, entrepreneur, and practice group leader, he brings both legal insight and a real-world operator perspective to every conversation. I'm Leanne Lyon, and today we are breaking down the Fractional General Counsel. Alex will explain what it actually means, who it is for, and why it's becoming one of the smartest ways for growing companies to manage legal risk. Alex, it's great to see you again. I'm so looking forward to these topics.
It's nice to see you again. I'm excited to be here.
So what changed in the business environment that created the need for fractional general counsel in the first place?
For the thing I saw, Leanne, is that businesses continue to evolve, especially in this day, faster than ever. They're constantly looking for ways to reinvent themselves. They're constantly looking for ways to save money, get better, and continue to improve. So one thing in particular, focusing on the legal department for a lot of companies, we saw two real traditional routes. One, people would outsource their legal work to law firms. And the other is they had a general counsel that sat inside the four walls of the company. What fractional general counsel is what I like to say, it's general counsel at a fraction of the cost. Or it's really this hybrid model in between having a full-time person on site with you every day or outsourcing all of your legal needs just to one law firm.
So you've been inside major firms and you've operated your own companies. Where did the idea of offering a fractional general counsel take shape for you personally?
It's exactly that. It came from being in my own business and then also having been at a law firm. But I specifically noticed it towards the end of my last stint in-house with the company. And it came, Leanne, because of the increasing costs and desire to be more efficient in our legal department. What I mean by that is there's a lot of times where companies will take, for example, they'll have their general counsel, and that's it. One person that sits at the helm there and attempts to control or be a part of all the legal affairs of the business. And that can get tricky because, as you know, businesses cover multiple different disciplines and areas. Employment, for example, intellectual property, corporate, there can be some litigation. And having one person sit at the center of that can be a bit limiting. It can slow down a business. On the contrary, you can have a law firm. While law firms are made up of multiple different attorneys, which is great, they don't have the same general mindset as a general counsel does. What I mean by that, most attorneys have never been inside of a business, never started one, never run one, never been a part of it. So it's a bit of a mind shift going from working at a law firm to being general counsel. Now, I've done both and find myself back in practice. So I'm attempting to merge those two worlds, and we've created a model which we've, affectionately called fractional general counsel.
Wow, I love it. So let's define it clearly. What is fractional general counsel, and how is it different from hiring outside counsel for projects or bringing in a full-time in-house lawyer, especially when you talk about the different needs? You've got marketing needs, employment needs, and so forth.
I think the best way to really understand it is, Leanne, to kind of walk through it on a day-by-day basis or what a business owner could expect from fractional general counsel. And that looks a little bit like this. So when we initially start the fractional general counsel model with the business, we do an initial deep dive. Remember, we're outside coming in. So the first phase that we go through is a discovery phase, in which we sit down with the businesses. We attempt to understand a multitude of different things to get caught up. Who are you? How are you built out? What are your goals? What are you looking to do? What are your initial pain points? Is it a lack of capacity? You can't turn contracts fast enough? Or is it just a little bit of unorganization on your legal department? Multiple people signing contracts, nothing really getting reviewed. Okay, that's the discovery phase in which we initially sit down with folks. That's a lot different than a law firm, which traditionally gets brought in to handle one text or one piece of the puzzle. Okay, and then you never see them again for a year. It's kind of like your annual physical examination. Good, hope it goes well. We'll see you in 12 months. And Fractional is a little different. We're kind of implanted in there with you to continue to grow, but really take the time during that initial phase to understand the intricacies of your business. And then as these legal issues evolve, grow with you, but also tapping into the multiple disciplinary areas that we have. So it's not just one attorney sitting there pretending to know it all. It's an attorney that's tapped into another employment attorney or a litigation attorney or a tax attorney, and calling those and focusing that back and driving that back into the business to give it the best legal services at the best cost.
I love the analogy of the doctor visit. I mean, it can really feel that way sometimes in law as well. So in your view, which companies need fractional general counsel the most, and what stage are they typically in?
I think high compliance industries, to me, Leanne, jump off the page as the ones that need it the most. And it's because the rules and regulations are always changing. In cannabis, for example, we had an initial rule set that we live by in Michigan. And then in 6 months, a whole new rule set came out. And then in another 6 months, a whole other rule set. And then the rules and interpretations continue to evolve and grow. Without a general or fractional general counsel in those walls with you, your business plan would shift or should change with those rules that outline how you play the game. But if you don't have someone in there telling you what those rules are, explaining, helping you, and guiding your team, you're going to fall behind. So high compliance, new emerging industries, those that don't have cemented, 50 plus years of case law and examples, those are perfect for fractional general counsel. And as to the timeline, when do you decide to bring in a fractional general counsel? We really have two main points that we see that in. One, right out of the gate. It's great to start with a fractional general counsel because you're beginning your journey together. Setting a company up is a very important phase. It'll help bring you success in the future, and it'll lessen your headaches significantly. It's never an issue, right, in the law until it becomes an issue. So nobody has a problem with it until things don't go the way we like. Then all of a sudden these things come under scrutiny. But being set up correctly, the right framework and the right guidelines helps companies tremendously. So right out of the gate, fractional general counsel, great idea. The next phase we see fractional general counsel coming in is at that beginning of that hockey stick growth or that takeoff phase. So you're probably through years 1 or 2. You're starting to really catch your wave of sales and growth, and you're beginning to hire employees, and things are picking up for you very quickly. Great time to bring in fractional general counsel. And you can choose how you utilize this fractional general counsel and for what. But it's again at that phase when you start to take off, that fractional general counsel can be very critical and very important. It helps guide that growth and keep you on the right path. It helps sustain the growth. It helps you with the next phase of whether you're looking to raise a second round of capital, to enter into some sort of formal arrangement with another company. Those are awesome times to bring in fractional general counsel.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of specialists. I mean, there's just no way for an entrepreneur to keep on top of everything. And there's certain areas like law where you really shouldn't be trying to do that.
Yes.
How should founders think about the cost versus value equation when comparing fractional general counsel to reactively hour billing or hiring full-time in-house counsel?
So general counsel inside of your business is an expensive person to have. They require malpractice insurance. They often require different subscriptions. They have bar dues, they have fees, plus they also come with a high salary. So if you're looking at an in-house general counsel, you better have the sales and the profitability to be able to sustain that individual long term. Okay. Just going to a law firm is also can be expensive. I remember the days being in-house, even as an attorney, I would get legal bills and it was unpredictable. Some months it was 5,000, some months it was 10 or 12. And I remember Leanne, our CFO, actually getting mad at us, at me in particular, because he's looking for some sort of budget as to legal. And when you hire outside firms and you don't have a set model or a set pricing per month, it's really hard for accounting and business owners to budget around that. And that's that sweet spot that we also insert fractional general counsel. It's predictable monthly flat rate costs. You're meeting at the beginning of every single week, Leanne, to go over what are our goals this week, how much time are we expending, into which departments are we looking at. Those are the types of things that I wish I had when I was in the general counsel seat. And it's really born this idea through fractional general counsel, which we work on today.
Can you share an example of a situation where having ongoing general counsel involvement materially changed the direction of a company?
Oh, yeah. I think I have a couple examples where fractional general counsel was specifically implemented, and it was huge for some of these businesses. One in particular, we had a woman who presently served as general counsel, who was having her first child and was going to leave for maternity for maybe a month or two. Now, the company was at a crucial phase, beginning to grow and take off. And without an attorney in that seat, it left the company exposed. I know the CEO was nervous, the board was nervous. Everybody respected this woman and wanted her to have her time, but was also scared she wasn't going to be there. Insert fractional general counsel. We were able to get up to speed prior to her leaving. We were well aware of how businesses were run. And so we were able to kind of help fill that void. And then afterwards, what I think was the bigger compliment, Leanne, was that we continue to work with that business even after the fact. So the general counsel came back, filled her seat, and then now we're continuing to ride alongside of that business, entering in at certain times when they need us or when they have extra capacity. That kind of leads me into this next example. And I remember this specifically being general counsel myself, is you can often get overwhelmed. And I think attorneys feel this way, or this need to take all the work on, do it yourself. You feel like it's something that you need to handle. And that can leave a general counsel overwhelmed with work and not meeting his timelines. And so fractional general counsel, in one particular project, we came in, it was a huge load that was presently sitting with the general counsel and was slowing down the deal phase, almost to the point where the deal died. We came in, we were able to pick it up, help out and assist, get that over the finish line and complete the transaction. So again, it's not a replace your general counsel specifically type thing. It's not no one in the seat, but it's this awesome hybrid model that you can utilize like a Swiss Army knife, Leanne, in a lot of different situations. And those are just a few off the top of my head.
That's awesome. What are some common misconceptions about fractional general counsel that prevent companies from exploring it sooner?
The biggest one I hear is it sounds like it's just an attorney and you're paying them a set amount per month. A lot of folks struggle to see the value with that. And one way we've been able to overcome that is our fractional general counsel all provide what we call a scorecard at the end of every month. And what that does is it breaks down the hours specifically to say, here's what we've accomplished. Here's the departments in which we've rendered legal services for. And here's a summary of all of our activity for the month. And these scorecards can get customized depending on who the audience is. Remember, your CFO is going to view things much different than your CEO. They're different mindsets. So we work at the initial onset during that discovery phase to understand specifically who's in charge of legal, who wants to see this, and then cater those scorecards specifically to those individuals. Okay. The other misconception I hear, and I touched on it a little bit as well, is, oh, they're just here to replace general counsel or kick us out. And that's just not the case. In some of those examples, we're there to help, to be an extra set of eyes and ears along the way as much as you need us. And if the water gets too heavy again, tap us in. We're here. But the difference being is these are attorneys with a great business sense who have either been in-house or served in-house and kind of understand that different approach that it takes when you're actually inside of the business helping run it.
So, what are the warning signs that a company is ready or overdue for a fractional general counsel support?
We see it a lot when individuals that aren't attorneys begin practicing and playing as if they are one. So we had an instance in which the CFO was negotiating all of the contracts. Now, that's an awesome perspective to have when it comes to the dollars and cents for that agreement. You need that. But that individual overlooked a lot of legal language that they just were simply unaware of. Didn't know what it meant, didn't understand how it could impact them. And that's a warning sign very quickly, is if you have a non-attorney negotiating, reviewing, redlining, working on agreements, that should be a warning sign for you. And the other one is if your attorney is slowing down deals. So what I mean by that is if you're beginning to lose contracts, even if they're basic sales agreements or work, because your attorney isn't getting those documents fast enough back and accurately, that's another good warning sign that you need some help. And that's an excellent point to entertain and begin having conversations with our fractional general counsel team.
As we wrap up today's episode, this is for founders and executives building in high compliance or fast growth industries. What advice would you give about integrating legal strategy into their growth plan?
Be aware of it and don't be afraid to admit it when you need the help. Whether you're an attorney or an executive, you're in that seat because you've been motivated, you've taken the risk and taken the steps to get to that point. But recognizing that the importance of a good fractional general counsel to assist your growth, look at it like a necessary add-on, not necessarily as a cost or things you need to worry about, but somebody that can help take you to that next level. That's where fractional general counsel will shine and give you the best bang for your buck.
Well, that is it for today's episode of the Law by Leo podcast. If you're building in a regulated industry and want legal strategy that moves with your business, you can learn more about Alex and his fractional general counsel services at lawbyleo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share this episode with a founder or operator who needs to hear it, and we will see you next time. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Leanne.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.